Hi girls, right, this is your introduction to identity and the media. The main text we're going to be using is Media, Gender and Identity by David Gauntlet. And what I'm hoping to do by these audio notes is just help you understand some of the key ideas before you come to class and explain those a little bit so you're happy when you come that you've understood the information in the chapters. But feel free to make notes and questions as you go along and bring those to class and then we can talk about them. Okay, just to give you a bit of a tour of how I'm using this document. So what I want you to do is when you log on to iTunes U, it'll indicate what you're going to be reading and if there'll be exercises for you to do. Now, where I want you to do an exercise, I've highlighted the key material for that exercise in pink, and then underneath you'll see this orange box. Now, when you click on it, it will either bring it up in the sidebar or it will bring it up on your computer and it will give you the information. Now, they're not meant to be essay style exercises, okay? You're just being required to do short bullet points with some evidence, all right? Because it's all going to build up to you creating your own case study at the end of the day, and these are exercises designed to help you just understand where you want to take that case study and the types of things that you can bring into it. Okay, so once you've read through the material, you will see that there are pieces that are highlighted in green, and these are the key areas that I want you to just take note of. I'm not expecting you to write this down, you've got it here, all right, so there's no need to make a ton of notes apart from the exercises. So the first idea is this identity of femininity, okay? So make sure you don't skip to these green bits. Make sure you read through the material because otherwise you're not going to understand what I'm talking about. But why I highlighted this was I want you to think about identity as an idea, okay? So it's something that's changeable, it's something that's developed, it's something that you can pick and choose, okay? It's not always fixed. And this particular piece is talking about femininity, all right? So coming at it from the idea that we're now modern women, all right? We don't have to fit into a particular traditional gender role. Now, they are still out there, and there are a lot of women who are challenging these kind of traditional roles, but it's about you thinking about femininity and your own femininity as a performance, okay? Now, you can choose to employ that in your life however you want. So you know that when you go to Topshop and you pick out a little black dress, that is going to give a particular representation of your femininity where you wear that to the party, for example. And then your femininity can be completely different if you're just sitting around with your friends in your onesies with face packs and watching Disney. You know, that's still feminine. It's still a feminine act, but it's all part of your whole femininity. It's all part of your whole identity. So, and what David Gordon is saying here, it's something that we can do for our own pleasure. So that idea of women, be typically going to the spa, having your nails done, having a face pack, having a massage, something like that. That is a feminine performance in society, and we can do that for our own pleasure, or even to achieve a particular goal. Now they're going to go on to talk about Madonna in a minute, and how she uses her femininity to sell her music. But think about how there are all these terms about feminine guiles, wily females, using feminine charms, and either whether you've done that in your own life or you can see it through media, how that is done. Sex sells in advertising, it sells in music videos, that kind of femininity that draws audiences in, whether it's a kind of male magazine that uses overtly feminine, hypersexualized women to draw them into the magazine and get them to buy it, like FHM or Loaded or whatever, or you've got that kind of innocent femininity that's used in Disney films, for example. So we've got all these performances of femininity. So I just want you to pick up on that and think about how those identities have changed. And then they've got an example here of Madonna, okay? So she plays with her femininity to not only sell her music, but also to create her persona. Madonna is someone who's changed her identity throughout the decades. So she's quite a good example. Lady Gaga is the same. Even David Bowie plays with this idea of gender and femininity, masculinity, androgyny. So I just want you to think about, when you're looking at your media texts, how that kind of identity has been composed and what the reason is. So if you haven't seen these Madonna music videos, have a look at those, just so you get an idea of what they're talking about. And then just to summarise on this femininity thing, so we've moved away now from being subject to very, very dominant gender roles in TV, for example. If you look at anything, the old 50s stuff like I Love Lucy or Bewitched, anything where women, or anything like Doris Day did, it kind of moved away from that woman as housewife. I mean, we're still under a patriarchal society, okay? There's still not enough women in the media creating media text today. But what Gauntlet is saying here, that our femininity isn't something that makes us weak. Actually, it's something that we can use when we want to, and we know exactly what we're doing all the time. It's not just an accident, if we decide to wear the sort of velour tracksuit one day when we're going to a yoga class, and then we're in pyjamas the next day, and then we're dressed up in a ball gown. It's not criticizing women and saying that we're subservient, okay? It's actually, a positive thing to be able to change this idea of our femininity all the time. And then just to summarize the chapter, thinking about different kinds of identity. So this book focuses mainly on gender, but that doesn't mean that they're saying the axis of identity, okay, other axes of identity will impact how you see yourself as a woman or a man. So a middle-class white woman from London will have a very different experience of life than a working-class black woman from the north. It all depends on, it's the stuff that we talk about all the time, okay? So the things that make up us as an audience, as a person, our class, age, our sexuality, how much we weigh, what clothes we wear, what we eat, where we buy our food, are you an Asda mum, or are you, Waitrose or John Lewis, sort of like more middle class. So all of those little things combine together to be part of your identity. Okay, so it's just thinking about all those different elements that make up an identity of a person.